Alrighty, hey gang, Spongemus Prime here, and today is our top 10 Transformers of 2023, and I will apologize that this video is so late, considering I said it'd be out yesterday, but it is coming out today. It just took too long editing this video. So without further ado, let us get into our top 10 figures of the year, shall we? Okay, so let's clarify some ground rules before we get into the video. So, rule number one for this video, this video is my opinion based on the Transformers that I got this year. Whether they released last year and I got them this year, or whether they were this year's release and I got them just recently. So, rule number two, this is just my opinion, again, okay? So, be mindful of that. And some of these figures that are going to be on this list don't even have a review out yet, which is some of the reasons why this video took too long to edit, was because I was already filming other videos to be released next year. So, without further ado, let's get into our top 10 Transformers. So for number 10 here, we have Transformers Studio Series Leader Class number 91, The Fallen. Get the pros out of the way before we get into the one con this toy has. So, the positives about this figure, and the reason why he is on this list at all, is because A, this is a very, very faithful recreation of the Fallen design from the movie, and I think this actually goes really well with your Jet Convoy, or Jet Convoy Optimus, or whatever that mode was in Revenge of the Fallen. He is very tall, like really, really tall, like old leader class tall. I think I mentioned that in my review that I made for him. He poses extremely great. Again, he looks really, really great, and his alt mode is definitely something else. But with that, now let's get into the cons. He's 90% clear plastic, which that's the reason why he's so low on this list and not higher up. Clear plastic is okay when you're doing it for some spots, but when your figure is 90% clear plastic, we Transformers fans really begin to worry on how long this clear plastic is going to hold up. Now, luckily, since this figure is already over a year old, he's lasted actually pretty long, and I have no crackage whatsoever on this dude, but I got him this year, so he made my list for number 10. Now, let us move along to number 9 pick on top 10 Transformers of the year is our Legacy Evolution Voyager class Nemesis Leo Convoy, or Leo Prime, or as I like to call him, Nemesis Leo Convoy. Now, this figure, it looks really, really fantastic. He's got all the things that a Leo Convoy should have. He's got the arm stabbers. He's got the blaster that this specific version comes with. He looks good. Like, this mold looks really good in the Nemesis color repaints. The Lion mode is really good. He poses like really good. He gets into some like really expressive poses. He can do the whole Lion Blast mode. And if you heard that in the background, that was my dad laughing. But this dude looks good all around, and I love the fact that he's this dark gray with hints of black everywhere, and then has the hints of the teal, or the cyan, whatever you want to call it. And he's got, like, he comes out really, really crisply. Like, let me see if I can get that in the light. There we go. The blue eyes like show up really, really good, and this dude is like detailed really, really well. Now again, he's got a really, really good Lion mode, albeit not so posable, but still really, really good. So yeah, that is our number 9 pick for our top 10. Let's move on to okay, so our number 8 pick of the day for our top 10 Transformers Studios, or Transformers of the year. For number 8, we have Gamer Edition Studio Series Megatron. Now, as you can see here, he looks great all around. He looks like, for me, honestly, he looks like he was pulled right off the screen of the game. I love the mace accessory he's got. I wish the fusion cannon was a bit bigger and a bit better. I just don't like how small it is. And another thing is I wish that his transformation was way more involved. You know, like Optimus here, whose transformation is a little bit more involved. Now, granted, I know they didn't have a lot to work with the design, and they did the best they could, which I can't fault them there. It still looks like Megatron from the game, and can still bash Autobots however he so chooses. And I love the purple Dark Energon highlights they gave him. So this is why this is my number 8 pick of this year. Just a generally fun release and everything. Really posable. Transformation's fun. Unlike Lio Convoy. And another one which we'll get into on this list, which funnily enough he ranked higher up. So that's our number 8 pick. Moving on to number 7. Okay, for my number 7 pick, this is a bit cheeky. Only because that it is more than one person, but they form one person. So for my number 7 pick, we have the Legacy Evolution Core Class set of Dinobots that form Volcanicus. Now, when the first two initially revealed, I was all over this set. A bunch of small dinos that formed an even bigger dino, but looks even better than the original Volcanicus that we got in Power of the Primes. It actually doesn't rip apart the moment you try to move it. Sign me up, man. Although we had to wait almost an entire whole year to actually complete the set, in my opinion, this was well worth it. Because, yes, it is a cute little set, but the Volcanicus is just top-notch for me, man. Like, yes, it doesn't have a lot of the posability, and for the posability you want to have it for, you have to get a third-party upgrade kit. But in my opinion, this does not need it, because imagination is our greatest tool when we have as toy collectors. Like, having the imagination just to pose this thing around and make it look like that it is absolutely gobsmacking Decepticons, and then since now we know how this combines, we are absolutely certain, because of a leaked listing, that we are going to get a core class gift box set for PulseCon next year. Dino King, which is from Transformers Victory. For those of y'all who haven't seen it, I suggest you go check it out. It's great 90s fun, or great late 80s fun. So there you go. So that is my number 7 pick. Let us move on to number 6. So for my number 6 pick here, we have the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime from the War for Cybertron game. And much like his compatriot Megatron from the same line, this dude is extremely posable, and as that toy guy said, he can balance on one foot if he so chose to. You know, not in this pose, because, you know, stuff. But I find this to be far superior than Megatron. Megatron is great, but Optimus here was done even better justice. Because not only does he come with his Ion Blaster, but you have the optional gimmick to make him poop out an arm. So, cool. Now, he also has a very game-accurate Ion Blaster, which can very game-accurately be equipped to the right arm. And for me, the best feature on this toy is if we open this up here, which everybody who owns one knows this works. He has a miniature Matrix, which I think is, the more different designs that we have for the Matrix, the better. And this looks absolutely gobsmacking great. There's not much on the back, it's just, you know, flat, but this works really, really well. And he's like really detailed on the inside here. Bring the light down a little bit. Like he is really, really decked out in there. He's extremely posable. You can get this dude into a slew of poses. And the alt mode is really, really, really great. An absolute perfect recreation of, you know, his CAD model from the game. So, with all that out of the way, moving on to our number 5 pick. So, for number 5, as I forget to remove Optimus Prime's arm. So, number 5 for our number 5 pick, this dude really blew me out of the water, even though we got official reveals in February this year when the Super Bowl was happening. Here he is, the one guy who stole Rise of the Beast itself, in my opinion, who made the movie. We have our great old Pete Davidson sound-alike Transformers Rise of the Beast Studio Series Mirage. Now, what makes this figure so great and rank so high, in my opinion, is the level of complexity that this dude has for his transformation. Also, for those of you who own the toy and have transformed it quite a bit, there's a good bit of clearance issues with it, which is the reason why he is my number 5 and not any higher. But also another reason why he is my number 5 is because he absolutely blows it out of the park for both robot mode representation and vehicle mode representation, instead of that Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, which was great robot mode for the Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, but the truck mode was... We're not going to get into that, actually. So Mirage here does come with a blaster, which does equip on both of the hands here. He's got paint like all over the place, and he's an officially licensed Porsche, or Porsche, however you want to say that. I say Porsche, so deal with it. He does have a greatly looked at Autobot insignia on the hood of the car, which is just tucked into the back there. He is a bit kibbly, yes, but I actually don't mind the kibble on Mirage. I think it just bulks him out a little bit more and a little bit better. And he also has a misprint on the box art, which just has the face mask, which is just concept art, or the battle mask, which again concept art. Yeah, you had the Porsche logo there. Really, oop, there we go. Camera fell over. Now I'm having problems trying to get it to stand. Oop, and I just loosened it. Woe is me. There we go. There we go. So, and he has a really, really great alt mode, which is really, really represented really, really well with the toy of Mirage. Another thing why I rank him so high is because he has really great posability and absolutely looks the part. So, my one biggest complaint is I wish he was bigger, so that way the transformation wasn't, you know, so complex. But that's just one minor nitpick for a very, very great toy. And actually is rather hard to come by, so he keeps flying off the shelves in my area. So with that out of the way, let us move on to our number 4. So for our number pick here is my current favorite Armada character, just because of how he was done in the show. So here he is from Transformers Legacy Wave 3, Armada Starscream. Now, to clear out any confusion, yes, he was released last year. But, and this is a big but, it wasn't until June? Yeah, it was June of this year when my Walmart finally got this figure in stock. So, this is why he is on my list. Now, getting all that shenanigans out of the way, he poses really, really great. Like, in some poses, he looks really, really imposing. Yes, there is the whole mishap with the shoulder bits when you're trying to transform them. If you bring them in, they're now loosey-goosey instead of super tight like they are if you keep them extended out. And then the whole thigh problems with a lot of people's copy, where it just, you know, unpegs itself. My copy doesn't have that problem with the thighs, but it does have the problem with the shoulders. But the problem with the shoulders is not really concerning to me. It's just now I finally own a really good posable Starscream, and this figure, the reason why it's really ranked up so high is because of nostalgia. I used to own the original Armada Starscream toy, absolutely loved it as a kid, hated the fact that I destroyed its ratchets. Like, I got the ratchet to the point where they just, you know, fell apart. So, really saddening. And the fact that we actually got one in Legacy was really, really good and really, really blew my mind. And the fact that he can also do the whole null laser cannon gimmick is really, really great. And now you also have back options like how you want to display it. You want it anime accurate, great. You just want to keep it slender, great. You also want to keep these out of the way, even better. Like you can totally evoke that G1 Starscream theme. And he also comes with a sword. I wish this sword was the wing blade that he had in the show. But I'm honestly really glad that we actually got a Starscream for Legacy. I'm still trying to hunt down Hotshot. Oh well. I hear like really bad things about that Hotshot, but nothing's going to take away my love for Armada with these new toys releasing. So with that out of the way, let us move on to number 3. So for our honorable mentions, before we get into the top 3, we have the rest of our Gamer Edition line that we have so far. I currently still do not have Bumblebee, but these figures are really great, but really limited due to their size and how they transform. Barricade here is just kibble-tastic, but still a really great figure. He just has a hard time standing. And then Cliffjumper here looks all kinds of proportionally wrong, but the alt mode is really great. And then we have our Cybertron or Transformers G1 Origins Jazz, as you know, our Transformers G1 Jazz. Really cool that they actually gave us this figure this year. And poses great, looks great, bit kibbly, but an honorable mention that is great, worth mentioning. All the rest, the rest of these just got beat out by other figures. But now I'm talking about the big elephant in, the room, is Transformers Lego Optimus Prime. Now, I know this set released last year, but I had a hell of a time building it. It was fun. It was great. And then actually noticing that it can pose, it can also transform, which is also really great. Also comes with a Lego Ion Blaster, his jetpack from the show, an Energon Cube, which I thought was really nice, and then his Energon Axe, which I thought was like really badass. They actually managed to do all that within, a strict building budget. And the fact that this thing can, transform, I just can't stop talking about it. It is really great. So, yeah, that has been my list of honorable mentions. So now let's kick it off with our top. And now for our last honorable mention, I cannot go without mentioning this dude. He is big. He is Irish or Scottish, one of the two. And yes, he was released at the end of last year, or I think midway through last year. But I got him this year with my income tax money. And I can't stop speaking about him. The man, the myth, the legend, our big guy in white and blue. We have ourselves the legendary Titan Metroplex from Legacy from the Cybertron universe. So, that is our last honorable mention. Alrighty, so how did y'all like my honorable mentions? Let me know. So, with Metroplex, I can't say much that already hasn't been said about him. I love him, like, a lot. Mostly because of nostalgia, but it is a really great and really big rendition of the big boy from Cybertron. So yeah, let me know what y'all think about my honorable mentions down in the comments below. And let us get now to our top 3 for this year. Alrighty, so for number 3, the big one that blew me away this year on this list so far is the Transformers Collaborative Stranger Things collab Autobot Code Red. Now, to clarify, this dude was revealed I think sometime in September or October and then was released in November. And I initially was like, no, I don't want this. This looks bad. It looks like just another Siege Ironhide remold. Don't want it. It's gonna be bad. Well then, come Christmas time, my mom and dad were like, let's go to Target. We're going to go see our granny. And I'm like, okay, I'll go with. And went to Target up there with them. And we found this dude who actually wasn't supposed to be on the shelf. And we're like, oh, cool. We're going to go ahead and grab this dude. To clarify, it wasn't supposed to be on a shelf. It wasn't supposed to be on the shelf at our store, at our Target store. Because they don't really, our store really doesn't, you know, sell exclusives all that much, or very hard to find exclusives. But we're like, oh, cool. So went and picked this up for my mom. Told me to make a review on it, so I made the review on it, and then it wasn't revealed until the day after we had got it that it was supposed to be mine. I'm like, oh my god, this is great, because at the initial night of my recording for the video, I messed around with it before, you know, shooting the video, and it really just absolutely blew me away with how good this thing is, how poseable it is, and how generally cool it looks in both robot mode and in its vehicle mode. And it honestly has a banana yellow tint to it, which I extremely find funny, and I love it. And I love the accessories it comes with, and how all of the accessories get integrated into the robot mode. Not so much for the weapon storage and vehicle mode, but hey, looks funny, looks great, I'm all about that. And this figure just absolutely blew me away, and I valued this way over the other figures that I got this year. So yeah, this is Autobot Code Red as my top number 3. So with that out of the way, let's get into our top number 2 Transformer. Alrighty, so for our number 2 pick was another Transformer that absolutely blew me away, because he has a blocky design, a really cool design, and has a lot to do in Transformers Armada. And as you can clearly see by the box here, it is Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class Armada Megatron. So the reason why this figure is on my top number 2, it is my second top pick, is because, one, the recently revealed tidal wave for Transformers Legacy United. Yes, it's a little bit of recency bias, but that's not all the reasons why this dude was number 2 in my pick. He also has the blast mode, he has the full blast mode, and then when tidal wave releases, he has the burning meteor mode, which that might be the name for it. It might not be. Don't quote me on it. But I think it looks absolutely stellar in all of its modes. Poses great. Vehicle mode, really, really good. Only thing is missing is, and I say this for all of my Armada figures that I will eventually own, missing the Minicon features. And we're missing the whole slew of Minicons for Armada lines. So this dude is my number 2 pick because of all of the reasons listed above, and the fact that he just looks this fantastic and poses way superior than the original toy. Which, I mean, the original toy was gimmick based and more for toy purposes, so yeah. But he poses great, looks great, and everything. So yeah, that's been my number 2 pick, and now moving on to top number 1. So our number 1 pick of the year, which, if you haven't guessed it already, I seduce that you should try now and guess what it is in the comments down below. And if you already know what it is, because y'all probably already voted on it on the Transformers Slag podcast live stream, or not live stream, but on his fan lineup of greatest toys of the year, and it beat out Deathsaurus by a wide margin. Here he is, our Transformers Legacy Evolution Commander Class Armada Universe Optimus Prime. And let me go ahead and bring the bloke down. Here he is in truck. And there is the trailer right there. Let me see if I can get the trailer. There we go. So alrighty. So the reason why that this figure is my number 1 top pick is I never, and this isn't nostalgia, because I never got to own the original Optimus Prime toy when I was a kid growing up. But Armada was the show that I grew up watching. It was my first Transformers show before I got introduced into literally every other Transformers show ever. And as I was growing up, I always wanted a good rendition of the original. And I've always looked on the aftermarket to try and find, you know, the original toy because I always wanted it until I found the whole video where one copy of the original toy burnt Bolt Matrix's house down. I'm like, I still want it, but it's probably never gonna go in super mode. So, but then the blokes at Hasbro, as great as they are, were like, oh, we have an Armada Optimus in the works, and then we finally got it revealed. To turn out it was a commander class and could do the super mode, has the base mode, and the core robot was exquisite. I had to get one. And then I never got my copy until a friend of mine accidentally bought one over on Hasbro Pulse. It got shipped his way, and then I got this off of him. And Nick, if you ever watch this video, I love you, man. So, thanks for letting me have this Optimus. And also, I'm really glad to have you over to help me build the Lego Optimus Prime. Really fun. And when this toy got Toy of the Year on their live stream, on the PulseCon live stream, didn't shock me any. This is a really, really, really good figure. The super mode is really posable. The core robot's extremely posable. The only thing it's missing is a waist joint, but who cares? It's a really cool Armada Optimus. The trailer looks great. The whole kit and caboodle looks absolutely fantastic. The instructions were easy enough to read. And he looks really, really great compared to your other Armada figures like Megatron here. And, you know, as I hit my studio, he looks great next to Starscream, Megatron, and then eventually when I get him, Armada Hotshot. It'll either be the Power Links version, which I do want more than the original version, because, you know, he comes with Jolt, so but he is extremely, extremely screen accurate. And the fact that this gold bit on the top here is removable shows that we are eventually going to get a Armada Jetfire for the Jet Super Mode, which, again, extremely hyped about. You know, like, Megatron is now getting Tidal Wave. We're eventually going to get a Jetfire and Overload for this Armada Optimus, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So, yeah. Ooh. Come on. There we are. Come on. There we go. So this is why Optimus is my #1 pick for the year. #1 favorite toy of the year, and my camera is falling. Stop that. Stop it. No, it's just going to continue trying to fall. So, yeah, there we go. This is my top 10 list. So hopefully you enjoyed watching my video on the top 10. I'm sorry that this video is coming out late. I promised it for the 30th, but it is, you know, coming out on 31st. Last video, really, actually, of the year. If you like what you see here, do consider subscribing. And let me know what y'all thought about my list down in the comments below. I have a whole slew of videos planned for January. So, this is SpongeBob Prime giving you my top 10 of the year. And this is pretty much all I have to say about all the figures I got this year. So, that's pretty much it. Peace.